What's up guys and welcome to today's video. We are back in the kitchen. It's been a very long time since I've done a meal prep video, but I think, the time has come for me to do another one once again. Today, I'm going to prepare for you 5 meals, 5 calorie dense meals, ideal for people who don't really like to eat, don't really have much of an appetite, or anyone who is basically struggling to gain muscle mass, okay? So, the first meal we're going to start off with is a notorious Mike Thurston omelette / frittata. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, pan on the hob, get it nice and warm. I'm going to chop up some garlic. Everybody knows I love garlic, so, you just got to include garlic into the mix. Chopping skills are still mediocre at best. Breakfast strips from veal. Oh, 81. That'll do, 81 grams of this. First thing we're going to put into the pan, tablespoonful of olive oil. Obviously, if you're trying to not go high calorie with this, you just have like the 0 calorie spray, but we're trying to squeeze every single bit of calorie into this little eggy specimen. And the first thing is we're going to put on garlic. I mean, if you don't like garlic, then obviously don't put garlic in, but most of you guys should hopefully like garlic. It's good for you, adds a lot of taste, and it makes your breath stink all day. A bit of chopped onion. Definitely ideal when somebody does all the chopping for you. So once the garlic and the onion is crispy brown, and stinking out your house, then we're gonna add the meat. 4 whole eggs. I think 4 is a good amount, because like, if you have more than 4, it starts to be a bit like, too many eggs really. I would recommend organic, free range. It's not that much more expensive, realistically. So you might as well just pay for quality. Now we're gonna add the tomatoes. It's up to you. You can either like flick it about once the eggs are on, or you can just leave it as it is, because obviously if we just leave it, the bottom's gonna cook, the top's not gonna cook. I usually just mix it all about and it kind of turns into not really an omelette anymore, but like scrambled eggs. But then they're not really scrambled eggs. Now to add some calories to this, we are gonna add some carbs. I would just recommend going to the shop, getting some decent high quality brown bread, grainy bread. There is protein bread, but I actually nearly bought it, and the protein bread just makes the whole thing way too high in protein. It's just unnecessary. Then we're gonna put these in the toaster, but my toaster's broken, so I'm gonna put it in the grill. Okay, so the bottom is definitely cooked, but the top is still very runny, so we're gonna finish it off by putting it in the grill. So once the bread has been toasted or grilled, in this case, we're gonna apply some butter, quite a bit of butter, 15 grams. Just keep smothering it all on there until it disappears. And there we have it. The top is cooked, the bottom is cooked. Now, let's just put it onto the plate. Flip it. Not necessarily the most aesthetic, but definitely very satisfying and reasonably calorie dense. That is 875 calories. I'll put all the macros on the screen for you to see. The next meal, salmon rice. Pretty easy. I mean, like, look at the ingredients, not many. And this is something which I'll have almost every day. I honestly don't like spending too much time cooking. I want to ideally go shopping and not get a ridiculous amount of ingredients and basically prepare food, which is going to take me all day, every day. I'm not trying to be Gordon Ramsay here, I'm just trying to be Mikey T place to be, okay? So, what we're going to do, we're going to get the salmon, chop it into however big the portion size is going to be. I would normally just whack the whole thing in, but today, because we're trying to aim for around 1,000 calories per meal, we're going to go for 200 grams worth of salmon. I don't know why I'm holding this. The whole thing is actually 380 grams. Right, so we're just going to assume that this is 200 grams, right? Because I don't really want to weigh it out. So now we've created a little bit of a gap. So it's going to cook from this side as well. I'm a bit of a genius, really. I mean, I don't like to brag, but I'm a bit of a wizard when it comes to chefing. I would usually steam vegetables, but I'm just going to put them in the oven again. Might as well put everything in one go, because whilst it's all cooking, then you can go off and do something else. Now, when it comes to bulking and squeezing your calories in, I won't go crazy with the vegetable intake, because you're just going to fill yourself up. Like it's literally not necessary. I won't put that in right now because the salmon's going to take longer to cook. So I'm going to put the salmon in first. I would put it on 200 degrees. And the timing, 10 to 15 minutes. But halfway through, I'm going to put the vegetables in as well. Because I want to cook these. I don't want to cremate them. 7 minutes later, we're going to put the vegetables in. So next up is the rice. Now back in the day I always used to boil my rice in a pan, but I started to find it really tedious. So now I just pick these up. It's literally so easy. All I have to do is slit it open, put it in the microwave, 2 minutes, bam, and it's done. These two are my favorites at the moment. Coconut vibes. This is cooked rice, right? This isn't dry rice. A lot of people get confused with the nutrition labels. Okay, so if we're having a full pack of this, it's 250 grams. But that's 250 grams in the cooked weight, okay? Which is around 210 calories. 410 calories. Silly me. 2 minutes later, this is nice and cooked. Now what we're gonna do, very easy way to add some calories. We're gonna put a tablespoonful of coconut oil in it. A tablespoon, or should I say a serving size, 14 grams, 126 calories. Right, we're going to open this up. I'm just going to shove it in there. And because it's nice and hot, it's just going to melt. And the rice is going to absorb it even more. Right, now it's time to check on the salmon. Hopefully it is crispy brown. Sounds good, that's for sure. Looks good enough for me. Pretty friggin' easy. The final touch, the most essential touch, is the teriyaki. Get thick teriyaki if you can, not the runny one. It makes a big difference. I'm going to put about 50 grams worth on this. I don't usually weigh it out, but I'm just curious to know. I'm going to put a little bit on the rice as well. And that was 30 grams. You can do 50, maybe a little bit excessive, but it's up to you. I absolutely love teriyaki, so I will smother my food with it. So calories in that meal, we've got 985, we've got 60 grams of protein, 34 grams of fat, and 108 grams of carbohydrates. So that's pretty much a 1,000 calorie meal. Pretty damn good. Next meal, we're gonna have sweet potatoes and chicken thighs. Now, a lot of people, when they're bulking, they always go for like the leanest cuts of meat, which is just, it's not necessary. Especially if you're trying to squeeze the calories in, you might as well go for the fattier meats and the fattier fish, such as salmon and mackerel. First things first, let's prepare the sweet potato because that realistically takes the longest. It's annoying how long it takes to actually prepare sweet potato. They just love to bask in the oven for ages until they're actually ready. What I'm going to be doing is cutting them into wedges. So they're not really sweet potato fries, they're just sweet potato wedges. And the reason is because if I was to make them into fries and smother them in olive oil, which is what I'm going to do, they just literally wilt into nothingness, and we don't really want that. We still want them to have quite a bit of oomph to them after they're cooked. Olive oil. Now for this, we do need quite a generous amount because we need to cover the surface area of all the sweet potatoes. So I'll be using 2 tablespoons full. You'll see why I'm doing this in this method. 2. Okay. And then I'm just gonna dip the sweet potato in the oil. This will make them so ridiculously tasty. There we go. And now what we're going to try and do is get them all standing up like that so they cook well. So you can add some seasoning to these sweet potato wedges. I don't have it at the moment, but the peri peri seasoning literally goes so well with this. So I've got a little friggin' hell, spill it. A mixture here. I'm just going to sprinkle it. I'm going to put them in the oven immediately. 200 degrees, and I reckon that's realistically going to take 20 to 25 minutes. So I'm just putting this on the chopping board because I'm going to season the shit out of them. So my little seasoning mix today is going to consist of some black pepper, some ground onion, thyme, some thyme. We've got some thyme here, if anyone wants some thyme, and rosemary. You can literally do whatever the hell you want with the herbs and the spices, Because no doubt someone's probably watching this and being like, like, I don't want rosemary, why the hell are you putting that in? Don't have rosemary then. Oh, and salt, of course. Pretty decent sprinkling if I do say so myself. And then we're going to flip them over and do the same thing to the other side. Bosh! Could put them in the oven, but we're going to fry them today. Okay, so let's whack them on a pan. Already that smells absolutely delicious. Right, okay, so I've transferred them all onto a bigger pan. They're all looking nice and sizzled. I'm just going to turn the heat down and let them cook all the way through because we don't want to get salmonella, do we? But they are pretty much done. Now, what I'm going to do is just add a little bit extra to our dish. We've got about 15 grams worth of butter, which is going to melt onto this pan. And then I'm going to add to that some chopped onion and chopped garlic. Once this is all cooked, flip it over. Let it simmer, because the sweet potatoes are nearly done, and then we'll be ready to serve. So I've been gazing at the sweet potatoes, just keeping an eye on them, and I think they're pretty much done. We want them a little bit crispy. Crispy on the outside, gooey on the inside. And this is ready to rock. So we are, again, it depends what your portion size is, what you plan to have. But for this meal, I've just like imagined that I'm going to be having 200 grams worth of chicken thigh. Obviously the weight will change once you've cooked it. Pretty delicious, to be honest. I've not even tried it, but I can smell it. This is, out of everything I've made so far, the most fragrant. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And I actually quite like to have it with ketchup, but ketchup could potentially ruin this dish. 1,005 calories, 60 grams of protein, 58 grams of fats, and 63 grams of carbs. Next on the menu, we are going to be making a calorific protein shake. This is probably the easiest one to make. You just put all the ingredients into a blender. Now, if you're going to be really lazy and you just can't be bothered to prepare anything or go to the shops, then you have the option of just getting a mass gainer. The other option we have, which we're going to do today, is my own little creation. We're going to try and aim to make a 1,000 calorie protein shake using wholesome ingredients. So as we can see, we've got everything here. Now the choice of the protein powder which you use, completely up to you. If you're the type of person that doesn't really like things that are overly sweet, then maybe it's better that you just use unflavored protein powder, because we have quite a lot of tastes going into this. It might be a little bit overwhelming if you have something flavored. Or if you like something really sweet, then go for any of My Protein's endless flavor selection. If you want to use a discount, use my discount code Thurston for 25 to 30% off. Right, let's crack on. You're gonna get the banana, you're gonna peel the banana, you're gonna get rid of that little dingleberry, and you can put it in. Next, we're going to use a full avocado. The problem with avocados, these are really just annoying little individuals, because there's like a 2 to 3 day span where it's actually like edible, where it's like perfectly ripe. Before that it's too hard, and after that it's too mushy and it goes black. So yeah, it's just one of those things. But I think today we've got a good one. They're not exactly the cheapest as well, are they, really? It's a good one, guys. So I'm gonna go for unflavored this time. So 1.5 scoops. We only really need 1.5 scoops because we're getting protein from all the other sources, from the other ingredients which we're gonna have. Nut butter. Now, I've run out of my protein nut butter, unfortunately, so I've had to go for this one, almond butter. It is absolutely ridiculous. very moreish. So for the macros today, we are going to use 20 grams. What the hell? It's a runny one, guys.
Just take the jar over with you.
No. I'm just going to leave that. Might as well just blend the spoon, to be honest. Lots of iron and metals in there. Now, because we're going to be putting dates into the blender, we want sticky ones because the dry ones do not blend. They will literally just cause your blender to make a very strange noise. I've made that mistake before. And obviously, a lot of dates do have the pips and the seeds in, so we need to take them out. See, this is really going to add to the flavour of the protein shake. So we got, doesn't really look like it, but that is 50 grams of dates, people. So we're going to put that in the mix. Then we're going to add 20 grams worth of oats to the mix. We're going to be adding the almond milk, nut milk, whatever milk you want. Today's instance is going to be, no point getting the unsweetened one. If you're trying to gain and squeeze the calories in, just go for the full calorie one. I think we need more liquid in this, to be honest. That is going to be thick.
Let's get some water in.
La, la, la. Obviously we can't have tap water in Dubai, guys, so we've got a little water dispenser here. Thank you, Louis Armstrong, for that addition. Lid on, secure, power on. Start off with a little bit of a low speed and we'll go into high. Let's go to high. It's a thick one, 1,033 calories in this. Now if you're an absolute savage, you'll have it in a big glass or shake and you'll have it in one go. If you can't manage it, then space it out throughout the day. 1,033 or 1,034 calories, 55 grams of protein, 47 grams of fat, and 93 grams of carbs. And the next one, this is for all those people out there who have a sweet tooth like me. I'm gonna make 2 little tasty desserts to try and pack as many calories as possible into them. The first one is gonna be a overnight oats pudding. The other one's gonna be a chia pudding using chia seeds. So, the first one with the chia seeds, we're going to weigh out 30 grams worth. Doesn't really look like much, but believe me, these little tricky seeds are very absorbent. They will literally absorb everything around them. So this is all we're going to need. And then we're going to add, we have a variety of nut milks, but we're going to use coconut and almond today. You can do whatever the hell you want, it's up to you. Obviously, the flavor of the milk you use is gonna dictate how the flavor of the pudding tastes. And then to add a little bit of flavor and add some more calories, we'll add a little bit of organic agave syrup. Or you can use honey, it's completely up to you. Obviously at the moment it doesn't look very appetizing, but we are gonna have to wait for this one, folks. We're gonna have to put this in the fridge and leave it overnight. The next one, we're using bog standard oats. We'll be weighing out 50 grams. You can weigh out more if you want to. It just depends how big you want this pudding to be. This is Alpro vanilla milk. This tastes like a friggin' milkshake. It's so good. We're gonna give it a stir. And we're gonna have to leave this one overnight as well. Luckily I planned ahead and I knew I was gonna make this video. So I made some yesterday. So let's go and check them out. They've been in the fridge for about 24 hours. Now, we can add anything we want to make this even more delicious. You can eat it as it is. It's a little bit boring, but it's still good. I'm going to tell you what I would do. We're going to put some sticky dates. We're going to add some berries as well. Granola. Granola is absolutely tremendous for stacking the calories on. And then the final touch, if you want to, not extremely necessary, we're going to put some coconut flakes on top as well. Pudding number 1. This one we're going to do a similar thing. Some berries. Organic almond butter. It looks a bit like white chocolate spread, doesn't it? Doesn't it, guys? I'm sorry, but that actually looks really appetizing. I actually don't know which one I would rather tuck into at this very moment in time. The one with the chia seeds, that works out to be 660 calories, 11 grams of protein, 18 grams of fats, and 110 grams of carbs. With the oats, that's 665 calories, 18 grams of protein, 24 grams of fats, and 83 grams of carbs. That is all of the meal prep done. Now obviously you wouldn't have all of this in one day, but I'm just giving you guys some ideas to spice up your life and tickle your taste buds. This video, obviously I'm trying to pack as many calories as possible into these dishes and recipes, and it is possible. You know, there's a lot of people that complain about, oh, I struggle to eat this many calories, or I get bored of eating the same thing every day. Well, I've just shown you how you can easily add calories, and I've shown you a couple of different things which you can try out for yourself. You know, it's not too hard. It's not rocket science. You just got to put a bit of effort into it. Do the shopping, put some time aside, listen to a podcast, or listen to some music, vibe out, make the meals, and then you will reap the rewards, and the gains will come. So, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. Give it a thumbs up if you have done. I'll see you soon.